Hey there. This video we're going to talk about how to build your resume and score it. Now, resume building part is one of the main thing when you apply for a job. Ideally, a recruiter spend 10 seconds or maybe less than that on your resume. So they're not going to read each and everything which you have done, right? And before it reaching to the interviewer, it has to go through the ATS system, which is called application tracking system. So you should be very much mindful about how and why you should be managing a particular template for your resume. Now, for ATS tracking tool, I don't recommend to use any of the templates available on the internet. You might find something like fancy using your photos. Those will be an issue. So what happened is like when it passed through the ATS. So ATS is like a complete system. So that system will manage the complete requirement of for the organization from starting a job creation until the interview is scheduled and onboarding you, right? So this one is pretty tricky. For example, if you're uploading a PDF document with a lot of templates and structures here and there, and with your photos, what eventually it do is like it try to convert that into it scrape the text from the template, and if there is like a lot of fancy items involved in it, it won't be able to scrape all the data, and some of the information will be misaligned, and ATS won't be able to properly organize it and match it and score it with the job description. All right, so I'm going to talk you about how you should be for whatever resume you have. Ignore it. So I have provided you a lot of resume template. All of them are like resume ATS scored beyond 90 score. So if you are an entry level person, I suggest you to use this document. And there are like experienced with 2 years, 4 years, 7 years. I have given over here, and if you're a data scientist mid level, it's over here. So all of them are like ATS scored. For example, you might see without any fancy thing, very on to point and easy to read. And I do recommend, if you are a student, I only recommend you a one page of resume. As I mentioned you, they are not going to read everything from your resume, and there are like some docs file so which is not viewable, so you can download from here. You can click on this download file and download those templates. Now let me show you templates right over here. So this is my program management template. As I don't have much experience on program management, I don't have to include a summary. So even for you as a student, if you're a student or a graduate with 1 or 2 years experience, I don't really recommend you to put a summary. And this is my software engineering or data engineer resume. Over here you can see that I have put the summaries over here. So why it is necessary over here is like I do have multiple profession, multiple job role I have worked in, and this is like a summary of what I have did, because I can't include everything, all the achievements and accomplishment over here. So that's why I made it over like this. So similar way, you should be also use as sections to make sure that your experiences is listed and stand out, and avoid creating titles to uh, just in the sake of doing it. So for example, you can use some tools like score your resume check, which I will be introducing you at the end of the session to score your resume. So for what I'm trying to do is like order your experience in a way. So you should use very short and bullet points, and never try to use any paragraph. So you can see everything is bullet points over here. Never ever try to use any paragraph in any of the resumes over here, because paragraph make it more complicated, they won't read it. And if possible, if you want to highlight some of the quantitative data, I do recommend to make it as a bold. Most of the ATS system, when you make it as a bold statement, they will try to fetch those things first and try to score more. And it also gives you an eye catchy introduction. For example, if you read this, your eye will always go to the right side over here, the bold one, 72K participant. Then you read this entire thing like 600 projects and a program management, which gives a person a particular idea. Okay, he has did something great. Right, so you have to try to make eye catchy. People don't want to read. This is like a era of short form content, and they don't have a patience to read each and every sentences. So you project yourself or you market yourself in one single page resume. So when they look for a 10-second, they should be able to understand who you are and what you did, and they should have a good impression as well. I'm using a two-page resume because I have around 4+ years of experience on data engineering, but I tend to use one-page resume over here because I don't have much experience on program management. So this is how it should be. And as I mentioned, you only add the summaries if you really need. And as I mentioned, you use the simple resume templates. You can find the resume template over here. I will be providing the link in the description. You can click over here, go through each of the thing. I for a graduate, I recommend entry level, then data engineer, technical program management, data analyst, or data scientist entry or mid level template. Other ones are like for experience, or you can use a student template over here. And all of them are like, I paid for it, so I made it much more free for you guys, so you can use it for your learnings. All right, now you have to understand redefining your resume. As I mentioned, you no more paragraph anymore. You should be use bullet points because the interviewer always skim through your resume. They receive an application for one single job. They might in India they might receive around 300 to 400 applications, and ATS system will remove maybe around 90% of it. Then they will be ending up with like 20 resume with their hand, and it's just for one job. And as a talent acquisition manager, they will be having multiple acquisition to be happening. For example, in a day they might have a target of getting 30 people to interview or pass to the interview team. So for the 30 people, and they ended up having each job 20 people shortlisted by the ATS, are you gonna think that okay, they are gonna validate the remaining jobs? So 30 jobs into 20 people. So that much resume they are gonna look each and everything? No, they just look at your what you did, and based on your resume they just skim through it, and it's a luck. So in order to get that lucky factor, you should be optimize your profile. So what I say is like when you list your achievements, for example, if you don't have an experience or you're a student, you can talk about your projects which you did, right? So that's the only way that you can talk about. So over there, or in your experience section, what you need to do is you have to always combine the action verb, the project which you did, and the output. It should not be the job role which you have been part of. For example, you worked as a company as a data engineer, and the job role requires monitoring the data pipelines. You should not write it over here. So rather, you should be a quantitative work of accomplishment should be over here with a number. Number plays a bigger role, and if you are putting a number, try to highlight in the bold format. Over here, you can see an action verb called created, which means that you performed some function in your previous organization. Then you mention what you have did, created a pipeline, right, of the data flow for airflow with 50 percentage of improvement, right? So something like that. So that creates a action verb, what project you worked on, a result or some quantitative data in form of numbers. So this is very important. Now what basically you do is like over here, when you come over here, you can see that um, managed open source program by GSOC. Managed is the this thing over here, action verb, and the project open source program by GSOC. Then this is my quantitative data, and I highlighted it, the important part in the bullet points, sorry, in the bold format, so which the ATS will be able to see, and it's also visually appealing. So over here people have a eye over things, and over here again action verb generated leads, then quantitative data, then what the program, what the task you have been performed, again quantitative data. All right, so similar way you have to do for different positions you've been part of, and you don't have to put like this action verb quantitative data in all the job roles and all the bullet points, but you should be adding that in your profile here and there, not for all the experience, but this is going to be helpful for you in terms of scaling up. I hope you got this particular point. This is way too important to understand how the things works. And your experience should be in a chronological order. It should be, for example, if you're using July, if you're using December over here, using a short form is not an ideal one. So you should always use December 2024, right? So this is how it's going to be worked over here. Then if you're a student, definitely add the volunteer experience. As I told you, action verb, um, project, and quantitative data. And here you can add your LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn link. Stack Overflow is one of the domain which I've been worked portfolio. This, so you are telling the recruiter, okay, just go and see my work, something like that. Now you creating a template like this and you won't change anything. For example, coursework I added. So when I apply for the new job, what I only do is like I find the most common keyword in the job description, I replace here, and I replace some of the action verb. That's it. Or you replace the tools, hobbies over here. The remaining things stays the same, or you might rearrange some of the words in the summary. So this is what you only change when you apply for different job. So you keep this template as it is, and you only change those things, and try to put your GitHub, LinkedIn, and portfolio. Definitely you should have a portfolio website, so people can go and learn more about you if they want to. Definitely add your phone number. Then if you are looking for uh, a reference, you can add it over here. So this is how the things works over here, right? Now the same goes for 1 year, one single page profile over here. You can put your certification, project, skills, voluntary experience, and don't mix your professional experience with your voluntary experience. Professional experience is like something which you have worked in the real industry, in the real company, and you can provide some proof like a letterhead or something. So don't say that okay, you have an experience and you did a voluntary experience for, or voluntary activity for some of the organization. So this is how the header looks like. So this is how basic a resume should look like. I hope you got the point. And only the summary section if you have 4 to 5 years of experience. Now once you did this, what you can do is like you can score your resume. So as I mentioned you, many people ask me like, should I add the photo in the resume? No, photo can lead to a misjudgment based on your appearance. So most of the organization doesn't prefer to have a photo, and again fancy resume will be uh, pushing interviewer to focus from what you did rather than to your template. So that should not be happening. That's why this kind of template is very important in terms of um, resume. All right. Awesome. So, as I mentioned, you focus on your accomplishment. So, highlight your accomplishment, not your responsibility, and avoid the weak word like assisted, you were responsible for. No, here you are the king. You should say that you created, or you managed, or you performed, something like that. Now, always try to quantify the impact with the metrics, such as numbers, as I mentioned you over there. Now, getting past to the application ATS system is pretty tough. So try to avoid any images, tables, or complex format for that. And always check the readability, whether are you able to read it. And once you prepare this template, send to your couple of your friends. Say that this is your template. Can you proofread it for any spelling mistakes or grammatical error, or whatever it is. Also, ATS checks for any grammatical errors. So ATS systems are very smart. Now they use AI, so they know that okay, you're using an AI for writing the resume or something. So always have a human touch towards your resume. Keep iterating it every time, and it keeps changing. So now what's next? You should start scoring your resume. Over here, it's better you download this PDF into Word document. That's why I'm using Google Docs. I can convert into any format. So I downloaded this over here, PM Sanjay Vishwanathan, right? Now over here, I'm introducing you new tool called Resume Worded. So here you have an option called Score My Resume. The link to this thing is in the description box. And again, I don't recommend to use a premium version. You just score it for once and see how the templates looks like. Drop it over here. This is your docs. All right. So it's processing your Word file. So as I mentioned you, it look for all the things like how it what it does is like it converts your resume to a text file. It try to extract all the OCR data. Then it kind of starts scoring how much your resume is ranking. So my resume is ranked 61 out of 100, right? Which might so there are a few things which I need to fix. So if you can go to I get it, go to my report over here. So ideal score is beyond 80. So unnecessary sections like references. If you see that okay, you have in my country like in Australia, it's pretty much important to add the references. So you can ignore this. So the remaining things are locked if, until and unless you don't have an probation you can't see it, but you can see this one weak action verbs I have been used. So again, it comes with the probation, but I don't really recommend it. So but here you get some kind of input. For example, I used worked many times. That's not really good. Similar bullet points I have been used, many were similarly. I get some information, so dates I've been used, not in a chronological way. So these all are, things are something I need to improvise. And readability is only 8. So you can see, so you can explore whatever is free version, and you can do the thing. And for example, now I want to score my other resume. Download PDF format. Let's see whether the PDF formats works or not. And go to the resume worded over here. Go to my dashboard, score your resume, upload your resume, and this is your resume over here. So this is like it already dictated career level mid change, or you can change your career level to early, right? So again, what happened is like trying to convert the PDF into a text format. It's trying to fetch all the information. Now you will be able to see how my resume looks like. So again, it scored around 61 percentage. So again, there are like unnecessary sections, same issues which is pointing out. So impact repetition is coming over here. So you can see improved worked 3 times. So it's also highlighting. So if I fix this, my score is going to score around 80 easy, right? So the remaining sections are really good. So most of the things you can do it over here. And I also told you quantify the impact. So here I only mentioned the quantification. Here there is no quantifying numbers. So it's better to have more quantifying numbers over here. So I hope you got an overall idea about how to perform this uh, things. And that's how you score your resume. So by end of this video, you will be having 1 day to come with your resume. And I have another tool which I'm using, which I'm providing for to resume validation. So what you can do is like you can go to my top mate account. I'll be providing you, for all the people who taken this course, I'll be providing you free version. So that's called resume bundle and ATS scoring. You can upload your resume, and you can add the code Recode Hive, I guess. Let me check. That has been expired. Recode 25. I'll be updating the new code in the description box, so you can come here and directly apply for you to validate your resume thing. So that's a free premium tool which I'm using. So as you have already brought this course, I will be helping you to score your resume for free, and that includes all the information, including spelling correction, proofreading, and everything you need to know about a resume. So